Alright, welcome to video part 2 of biology section 8-2. Alright, so before we move on, I'd like to just look at the graphic that's been developing for us. I'm going to zoom out. So over the last 2 pages, it's been putting together some scientists. Van Helmont basically found out that the tree gains most of their mass from water. Joseph Priestley figured out that plants produce oxygen. Now we're going to read about a guy named Jan Ingenhousz. All right, please move to page 205. I'm sorry, 206. Jan Ingenhousz. Later, the Dutch scientist Jan Ingenhousz showed the effect observed by Priestley occurred only, hold on, this is backwards, occurred only when the plant was exposed to the light. The results of both Priestley's and Ingenhousz experiments showed that light is necessary for plants to produce oxygen. Key point, the experiments performed by Van Helmont, Priestley, and Ingenhousz led to work by other scientists who finally discovered that the presence of light, plants transform carbon dioxide and water into carbohydrates. They also release oxygen. You know, this idea that we have that plants use light to make energy for food, though it sounds simple, isn't simple, and it isn't easy to come up with if you didn't know it in the first place. Science is like that. Looking back, it looks so easy, but looking forward, it looks so hard. The photosynthetic equation. All right, so what did Ingenhousz do? Ingenhousz put it all together. He figured out that it takes light to produce oxygen. All right, I'm not going to take any more notes, but I know you can and you should. The photosynthesis equation. Because photosynthesis usually produces 6 carbon sugars, C6H12O6. Mr. Worley, what's a sugar? A sugar is basically a carbon ring. So I'm going to draw a sugar right here. Carbon, 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 carbon. It's a ring of carbons with OH and hydrogen stuck to it. That's what a sugar is. As a final product, the overall equation, come back, hold on. The overall equation for photosynthesis can be shown as follows. 6 carbon dioxide molecules plus 6 water molecules in the presence of light yields a sugar plus 6 O2. Carbon dioxide plus water equals sugars plus oxygen. Photosynthesis uses the energy of sunlight to convert water and carbon dioxide into high energy sugars and oxygen. Oh, that's a key point. Mr. Worley, what are we going to have on a quiz tomorrow? Well, maybe we'll have a quiz about what does photosynthesis do? What is the main equation? Moving on. Plants then use the sugars to produce complex carbohydrates such as starches. Plants obtain carbon dioxide from the air or water in which they grow. The process of photosynthesis is showed in figure 8. So basically here we go. I have light energy coming in, and light energy helps the circle go. And H2O is used in combination with CO2 and H2O. It happens inside the stroma in a process called the Calvin cycle that makes sugar. It also makes ADP and NADP. Remember ADP? What did ADP turn into? ATP from last section, which is the energy molecule. All right, moving right along. Please go to page 207. Lights and pigments. Although the equation tells you that water and carbon dioxide are required for photosynthesis, it does not tell you how plants use those low-energy raw materials produce high-energy sugars? To answer that question, you have to know how plants capture energy of sunlight. In addition to water and carbon dioxide, photosynthesis requires light and chlorophyll, a molecule in chloroplasts. Chloro. Wow, looks like a root word in there. I wonder what that means. Energy from the sunlight travels to Earth in the form of light. Sunlight, which your eyes perceive as white light, is actually a mixture of different wavelengths of light. Remember in physical science, we learned the color wheel turned white? Many of these wavelengths are visible to your eyes and make up what is known as the visible spectrum. Your eyes see the different wavelengths in the visible spectrum as different colors. Plants gather the sun's energy with light-absorbing molecules called pigments. Vocab word. What's a pigment, class? Oh, I don't know. That's a great quiz question. It's something that absorbs light. Now check it out. Pigments are all over the place. They're in your shirt. They're in your hair. They're in your skin. Freckles? Pigments. The color of the sofa you're on? Pigments. If it's got a color, it's got a pigment in there. The plant's principal pigment is chlorophyll. That's a very special one. There are two main types of chlorophyll, chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. Oh man, that looks like good information. Figure 8.5 shows chlorophyll. Hold on, we lost our screen. Figure 8.5 shows chlorophyll. Chlorophyll absorbs light very well in the blue, violet, and red regions of the visible spectrum. However, chlorophyll does not absorb light well in the green region of the spectrum. Green light is reflected by leaves, which is why plants look green. Plants also contain red and orange pigments, such as carotene, that absorb light in other regions of the spectrum. Because light is a form of energy, any compound that absorbs light also absorbs the energy from that light. When chlorophyll absorbs light, much of the energy is transferred directly to electrons in the chlorophyll molecule, raising the energy levels of these electrons. These high-energy electrons make photosynthesis work. Okay, and I'm sorry I didn't track the screen for us, but go ahead and read that on your own. And let's check out this graph. This is important. Alright, so basically what is it saying to us? It's saying down here are the different colors. You got violet, blue, green, yellow, orange, and I can't read it. And this little line represents the amount of absorption, or how much of that light is being absorbed. Chlorophyll B, as you can see, absorbs 80% of the light. Of what color light? Of the blue light. Chlorophyll A absorbs about 60% of the violet light. Check it out. Green, both pigments don't really pick up green or yellow. Not so much of the orange, but hey, it picks up real good here and here. Why are plants green? It's because chlorophyll does not absorb green light. Great quiz question. Oh, yeah. All right, class. Thank you very much. This concludes our section on 8-2. Remember, our section assessments that are due. Do you know who Van Helmont and Priestley were? What did Jan Ingerholz do? Check them out. Also, what is the basic equation of photosynthesis? Another great quiz question. Hey, Mr. Worley signing off here telling you that God loves you. And so do I.